Well, greetings, YouTubians. I'd like to say it's another beautiful morning in the neighborhood. And I guess technically it is. It's a beautiful storm. This is the remnants of Melissa coming up the coast. That's the storm that pretty much trashed Jamaica. So I just ran out here to the boardwalk to check on the ocean situation. That guy's still standing. Basically, he looks like one of my relatives. But obviously there's nobody over here. This is the world famous Seaside Heights boardwalk, made famous by that horrendous TV show, The Jersey Shore. But still a lot of fun history here. I'm trying to get a good glimpse of the ocean. I can hear it, man, and it is angry, to say the least. This is actually the spot of that iconic photo that everybody sees for Superstorm Sandy. That was the Jet Star, which that was out on the pier for years, and that just got completely devastated. But I'm hoping I can get up to the water at least. Oh boy, look at that. Keep off the dunes. I'm gonna walk out to this little walkway. And luckily, with all this wind, the rain isn't really too bad. It's just kind of blowing sideways, but this just shows you the real power of nature. And man, is she powerful. Wow. Well, proving again that my mom was always right, that I didn't have the sense to come in out of the rain. This proves it. There's not a soul out here. Check out that. Wow. Quite amazing. Let's hope this is the worst of the storm. I guess Superstorm Sandy was 2012, and man, that just devastated this area. And the results are still here. You know, they did a lot of rebuilding. Yeah, it just changed everything down here, you know. And I don't know if it's for the best or the worst, but this camera's moving. But I'll tell you what, I'm getting pushed down the boardwalk here. Wow. Yeah, these winds are the highest I've felt. I don't know, I feel like one of those guys on the Weather Channel that are, you're always wondering, these guys are out there, you know, standing in this horrendous rainstorm and kind of giving you the weather. Get the old Jersey roll. Ay, ay, ay. Wow. I'm just getting clobbered here. Maybe a hat would have been the way to go. But this wind is unbelievable. Luckily, these little arcade stands are kind of breaking it. They're breaking the wind. They're breaking the wind. They are. That makes two of us. Wow. Huh. Let's hope that guy stays securely fastened. Wow. And you can see, as of Superstorm Sandy, they built these cement barriers. I guess the edge of the boardwalk here now provides some protection I'll check. So the plan is, I'm down in Seaside Heights now, which is Ocean County. I've got some tattooing to do up in Tattooville, up in Linden, which is probably 50 miles north of here. So I think I'm going to take the coast, or as much of the coast as I can, and kind of see the situation. There's just something awe-inspiring about seeing nature in its rawest form. You know, during the summer, this is quite the family vacation getaway. And these beaches are just packed solid with people. Wow. Well, I was just up on the boardwalk filming this stuff, and I saw this down on the beach. And unfortunately, I think this guy is deceased, but looks like an old loggerhead turtle. This poor guy has seen better days. Wow. Sorry about that, man. Right? The ocean gives and the ocean takes away. Well, I just took a photo of that poor little turtle, sent it to my wife. And I'm sure the first thing she's going to say is, do not bring that home. I've had a tendency over the years to pick up roadkill from deer to squirrels to fox to hawks. Oh boy, that wind is just killing me, or sand is just blowing up here. Just because as they decompose, you can kind of check out the skull and all the inner workings of it. Is really, really amazing, but I'll spare her that. So I'm jumping back in the truck, headed north up to Point Pleasant Inlet, or the Manasquan Inlet, which I'm sure is angry. As crazy as this is, there's something I really enjoy about coming over here and checking out this situation. You know, to see the vast differences of the environment down here. You know, it's beautiful and sunny, everybody's on the beach, you know, suntan lotion and good times. And then a few months later, these situations can arise where it's really, you know, a little scary, a little dangerous. I'm sure we're going to encounter some flooding on the way up. It's probably about a 10-mile drive right up the coast, and I'll pull over a couple of times and just take a look at the ocean. Unfortunately, the erosion is a big factor down here, where, you know, they spend millions of dollars to keep these beaches in good shape, and then one storm comes through and they're wiped out. So stay tuned. And for those interested, I believe this is the Jersey Shore house. I'm not really sure. Well, there it is in all its glory. I can see Snooki running down the stairs even as we speak. All right, I don't even know if that was the actual Jersey Shore house. And actually, who cares? That show was pretty lame as far as I'm concerned. So, onward up to the Manasquan Inlet. Well, the wind certainly is picking up out here. I just stopped halfway between Seaside and Point Pleasant at Brick Beach. my wife's family and everybody here put this bench out here as a memorial to my beloved nephew Jared. Very, very sad. It says, "Meet me where the sun touches the sea." And he certainly loved the sea. I'd bring him over here surfing all the time, and he just loved it. I know he's standing right next to me, checking out the surf. So I'm just gonna walk up here and see what it looks like. But man, it's getting worse as we go north. Well, you can see this is about as serious as it gets. If it was raining, I certainly would not be outside doing this. But I'm here at Brick Beach, which is a municipal beach, which really maintained really nice. They've got these little handicap accessible walkways, but it's a trip. You can see there's the ocean, and behind me is the bay. And for years, never the two would meet, but since Superstorm Sandy, it's happening more and more. Looks like the water's up pretty high on that side. Let's hope these dunes do their job, which is basically protecting the inland here. It's wild. Definitely a little different vibe than the summertime, when this place is just packed with people. Okay, our third stop is Bridge Avenue in Mantoloking. This street, actually, the beach is in front of me. Our place in Brick is probably 15 minutes one way, straight down, which is awesome to get up to the beach. But we're gonna check out and see what the beach looks like here right now. Oh boy, yeah. Wow. Man, it's howling. It is howling. Woo, 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 woo. You're telling me it's unguarded. Man, look at that flag. Just about straight. Oof. Nasty. Wow. Woo. Look at that, man. I can barely stand out here, and you can see it's coming up the beach, getting to those dunes. Hopefully they'll hold up. Wow, I'm literally getting pushed off the beach here. All right, I can take a hint. You can see that barrier that the dunes make, but let's hope it's, ow, man. Between the wind and the sand, I'm just getting sandblasted here. Okay, stop 4, the Manasquan Inlet, and you can see it's coming up. Pretty crazy. Wow. Looking pretty bad. And the water is up over the bulkhead. So that's not a good sign. I'm not really sure where the tide is, whether it's coming in or going out, but it certainly is coming in. You can see that. Pretty wild. Looks like they're reinforcing the beach over there. That's the dog beach in Manasquan. But joke today. Okay, let's keep heading north. Well, here's that memorial to all the lives lost at sea. And you can see, you can usually walk up to it, but not today. Whoa, man. You can see, unfortunately, there's been a lot of people taken by the ocean. The Point Pleasant Beach Memorial, Fisherman Memorial. Hang in there, brother. Wow. Okay, I stopped by the commercial boat docks here in Point Pleasant just to check on the status of things. And the tide is up. Man. Looks like everybody's in. Looks like everybody's scrambling to make sure everything is tied down and secure. I'm by the Coast Guard station down here. And much like firemen, those guys are going out into the storm when most people are running away from it. So I'm glad they're out there. Huh, it's getting bad. Well, stop 5 is in Asbury Park. Just gonna run up to the beach and check out the situation here. I parked right by the historic Stone Pony, the renowned music venue of Asbury Park, legendary, recently featured in the Bruce Springsteen movie. Like him or hate him, he's a native son of New Jersey and has done a lot to bring a lot of attention to the Jersey Shore and especially Asbury Park. Again, good or bad. Oh, man. But this is one of my favorite boardwalks in New Jersey. You can see down there is the casino. North is Convention Hall. But I don't know where everybody is today. These guys are working over here, right here on the beach. And it's really something here today. I'm getting pushed down the boardwalk here too. And there's the Stone Pony. This place has been here, I think, since the 70s. It doesn't actually say anywhere, but I've certainly spent a lot of time in that place, seen a lot of great bands, heard a lot of great music. But just like most of the Jersey Shore, the development is really running amok. But that's just progress, I guess. You can hear the construction going on. Nothing stops construction. Here's another iconic venue, bar, the Wonder Bar, right? And I think of this place as a kind of a new spot, but it's probably been here for over 20 years. They replicated the Asbury Park symbol of Tilly. Man, I don't have that tattooed on me, but I certainly have tattooed that a bunch. It's a great old spot. Like I said, you can still hear the wind howling. There's part of the new Asbury encroaching on the old Asbury. But like I said before, that's how it goes. Here's the back of Convention Hall that opens up right here to the Berkeley Carteret Hotel, which is a really historic landmark here in Asbury Park. I don't have the dates on this, but this was a luxury hotel back in the day and then kind of fell into disrepair with all of Asbury going that way. And now it's been kind of renovated and beautiful. So, all right, let's get to work. Let's stop fooling around. I got things I got to do. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, one last stop before I head back up to Linden at the world famous Convention Hall in Asbury Park. This place has been here forever. It's another great music venue. Yeah, this building is the site of the shipwreck of the Morro Castle in 1934. You can see from the illustration, the boat was right up against the back of this building. And it became quite the tourist attraction of the day. But man, I'm having a hard time even making my way up to the beach here. Wow. This place, the Robinson Ale House, has been here forever too. It started out as a Howard Johnson's. I don't know if anybody of you guys remember any of that, but that was a cool old restaurant chain, comfort food. But man, check that out. So, I'm just going to take a quick walk through here and see what the scene is. Whew. Kind of quiet. And nice and dry in here today. Pretty cool. So much history in this building. When I was a little kid, this was the closest beach town to North Jersey where I grew up. So my parents would bring us down here and walk along the boardwalk and go on some rides and all that stuff. Looks like they're doing something in here. I certainly have really fond memories of down here. It was a magical place. Still is. A lot of the murals that are done all through Asbury Park were done by a good friend of mine, Mr. Porkchop. Here's one of his creations here. He's a really nice man and a very prolific artist. And has truly become the face of Asbury Park and the art scene. There's a bunch of other really hard-working people down here that have kept the spirit of Asbury alive. Jen from the Parlor Gallery has been working tirelessly from the days of the Asbury Lanes to now. One of my favorite things about this building, besides all the architecture, is the floor. I don't really know the technical name of this floor, but it's like marble particles all bonded and then sanded smooth. And this is probably the original floor from whenever this place was built. But I just remember being a kid, you know, and it being 100 degrees out, hot. And we just wanted to cool off our little feet, and walking in on this floor, it was so nice and cool. And it just brings back such a nice memory and memories. So that pretty much wraps up today's video. Took you on a little tour of the Jersey Shore. Got to see some pretty crazy weather, the extremes of weather. And now it's time to head up to Linden and do some tattooing. So, not a bad way to spend the day. I try to take advantage of every opportunity I get to do a little exploring and revisit some of the places that meant a lot to me as a kid and still do. So, Again, thanks for watching, everybody. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Like I said, I've got about 300 subscribers right now. If we could get to 500 by the end of the year, I would be a happy little shoe. And stay tuned for the next video, which is going to be at the Bound for Glory Art Show up in Staten Island. I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be really, really nice. A bunch of really cool art. I'm hoping to pick up some cool stuff for the house or the shop. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next time.